Because Evan, you told me I looked like what earlier?
An egg with eyebrows.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome to the Monarch Experience. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day or evening to listen to this episode. It's our 6th episode, and I'm so excited to be able to talk today about what it is to be a YouTube gamer. Not exactly a topic that I am super comfortable with, but I think that by the end of this conversation today, you're going to see some really cool stuff. You're going to hear some really cool stuff about what it is to be a YouTuber in general, how to become famous. That's what the goal is at the end of this episode. We're going to get you famous. But before we experience the power of YouTube gaming, we have to make sure that we give some major shout outs. This week, our major shout out has to go from Mrs. Rothy to her honors students, Albert and Victoria, who entered the New York Times Vocabulary Video Contest. And Albert took first place out of over 1,500 entries. And Victoria was honorable mention. So incredible. And our second major shout out for this week has to go from Mrs. Ricker to her 8th period writing students who showed up their creativity and innovation during their Genius Hour projects and presentations. I was talking with Mrs. Ricker earlier this week, and she was actually talking to me about it, and her face lit up when she was saying how proud she was of the work that they had done. Really awesome. Major props and congratulations. Now, before we get into this conversation today about the power of YouTube gaming, we have 3 fantastic guests that we have to introduce. Evan in 7th grade, say hi to everybody listening.
Hi.
Brandon in 8th grade, say hi to everybody listening.
Hello, hello.
And Kimberly, can you top that?
Probably not, but hello.
How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
All right. Had a CA today, but it wasn't.
Just all right?
Yeah.
Oh, because you had the CA today, that's why.
And it's a Monday.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Don't really want to do it.
But we're doing this today.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
Yeah.
And you know what? If the CA is bothering you, you could always go back to episode 1 and listen to Standardize with Sammy, Victoria, and Madison. And that might make you feel a little bit better. But actually, well, don't do that now, though, because we're doing the podcast.
Yep.
So
wait till this one's over, then go back.
Yeah, definitely. And then make sure that you download this one twice then, so that their numbers don't beat your numbers. Right? Because we want you guys to be number 1. Don't tell anyone else who's been on the podcast that I want you guys to be number 1.
What if the people
they're
who
listening.
on the recent podcasters are listening? Yeah.
But they're listening though. That's not good. I could retract that statement, right?
There's nothing they could do now. They've already been archived.
Yeah, that's true. So before we get into the power of YouTube gaming and how to be a YouTube gamer, or really, you probably could take a lot out of this episode and try to figure out how to be a YouTuber in general. It seems like, as we kind of were doing a lot of conversation beforehand, it seems like a lot of the similarities are pretty consistent across the board. We have to try to figure out, I think it's a Monarch Experience tradition that we try to alienate at least half of our fan base. And I think we've been doing a really great job in the previous 5 episodes. So here it is. I've heard people talking about this all year. They've asked me constantly. I've put it off. I have not wanted to be on one side or the other. But I think today, we have to do it. I got to pick a side. But we want to hear from you first. Brandon, ranch or blue cheese? People are anxiously waiting.
So I am a dairy lover. I'll have milk, yogurt. I've eaten yogurt so much that I've just hated it. I've eaten it so much I've loved it and I hated it now. But the thing is, I still love cheese. And blue cheese is just, whenever I have a salad, either it be Caesar, just a normal house salad, I always go for blue cheese. Ranch just, it seems so common and normal, and there's advertisements for it. And there's one where the person just drinks it, and I just shiver.
Wait, drinks ranch?
Yeah, there is a Hidden Valley commercial where they have their ranch dressing, and someone just drinks it, and I just shiver at the fact because I do not like the taste whatsoever, and I don't even think it's that quality.
Is that a thing that people do? They drink ranch dressing?
I would drink blue cheese dressing.
It's too chunky. Kimberly, where are you on this? Ranch or blue cheese?
I would say blue cheese because I like blue cheese, and I really don't like condiments, but I think blue cheese is a lot better.
Evan, ranch or blue cheese?
I have no comment, but
Wait, so you don't pick?
does-
Wait. Let's stop there for a second. You're not gonna get out of it that easy. So, ranch or blue cheese, and you have no comment.
I don't use either. I don't
Wow.
eat salad.
Well, who says we're talking about salads?
Well, I mean,
For wings, what else are you gonna dip the celery in? I don't dip, so I'm gonna.
I don't like celery either.
I don't like celery either.
Really?
Yeah. I don't.
Really?
I don't know why. It just has this like strange aftertaste.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the crunch. Big
I
fan of the
agree.
crunch. So, Evan, you're telling us no. You're telling us no. You're telling me no right now. You're telling us no ranch or blue cheese because you don't partake in either. Are you too good for either?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're an interesting guy. All right, so let's jump right into this. We're going to talk about the idea of creating YouTube channels and with a specific focus on gaming. Make sense of this for me. This is new for me. This is new for my generation. I talked to a bunch of teachers that are within my age group. I've talked to teachers that are well outside of my age group. And the whole idea of watching people play a video game and live streaming is a huge success. Just, it does not resonate with us. I don't understand it. I like playing video games. My generation, like, we do play video games. We'll play either, if it's against the computer or if you're playing against a friend. But I've never talked to a friend of mine who is into gaming who has said, yeah, let's watch this other person play and not be a part of it at all. Can you break this down for our listeners who are trying to understand?
Well, I mean, kind of the last thing you said, not being a part of it. I feel like maybe not for watching YouTube videos, but there's a sense of family when you watch a live stream. When someone's playing a game, you're allowed to interact with them, even though you're not playing the game. And sometimes you don't even want to be playing the game, but we'll cover that later. But sometimes you are interacting with them, and you are being able to experience it. Maybe sometimes you want to experience it in a whole nother light. Someone else playing the game, doing different things rather than what you've done.
So just kind of almost getting like different experiences and you're like cheering them on.
Exactly.
Okay. But I guess like how much time do people put into just watching that? Is that something you do for a little bit or is that something that could keep you entertained for hours?
I'd say definitely for hours on end. Because the thing is, there's just so much content, so it could be directly specified to what you want to see. Unlike television where you have to be there on a specific time, and there's only a limited amount of channels, even with the thousands. On YouTube, there's millions of channels, all have different levels of entertainment value, different ways of entertaining you.
For me, as someone who likes playing certain video games, and I really kind of stay within the same category of like pretty much just Madden or like wrestling games or sports games, I want to try to understand, because there are days where I'm just not in the mood to play or to interact with anything, so I will watch TV. But you were saying that you can be a passive audience, basically, and watch someone else play. You made a sports analogy earlier today when we were talking. You want to break that down for us?
Yeah, so when you're watching it, even with sports, kind of, you're still rooting for a team in sports, and when you're watching someone play, you're always, unless you're not, you cannot, but you always you're kind of rooting for them, you're on their team, for the say.
But you're not actually on their team.
You're not actually
Right.
participating. I mean, same thing with sports, though, and people die for sports. They'll watch it endlessly, they'll analyze it. There's a whole sector for sports analyzation, and people say, oh, when you watch gaming, you're just doing nothing. But with gaming, you're kind of doing it too.
It's awesome because I think, like the NFL is a 5-month season, and yet they have an entire network that it caters just to the NFL for all year round discussion about it, which, it's so true. I mean, I'm watching the Yankee game yesterday, and I go upstairs and I tell my wife, oh, we lost. Who's this we? I'm not a part of it. And it's no different than, now that you're breaking this down, it's no different than same thing when you're watching a game and you're just interacting with it. Because, I'm interacting with the TV, where when you're at the game, you're interacting with it, but there are no stakes involved for if they win or lose in my life. Go ahead, Kimberly.
I also think that the appeal of watching someone else play is the different level of skill, because you know your own skill level, whether it be average, be great, or be like somewhat like beginner. But the appeal of watching someone professional or someone who knows what they're doing play the game, it's like a whole new light. And that's the same thing with sports. You watch professionals play sports.
That's incredible. So I can go out in the backyard and I can hit a wiffle ball and I'm like, oh yeah, pretty good. But if I watch somebody turn around a 95 mile an hour fastball, we marvel at that, right? We see people hit, these monstrous home runs and we marvel at, it was 500 feet. It was 565 feet. I mean, I could hit like a 70-foot wiffle ball home run. Kimberly, that's incredible. I mean, I think that with that, like Brandon, you had said earlier that there's an infinite amount of channels that you can watch. So with that, you've got infinite amounts of people that are performing. Do these people kind of become almost celebrities in their own right?
I'd say greatly. If you just name, like, some of these people are even household names at this point. Like, I'm certain that you've heard of the YouTube personality Ninja before.
I have.
Exactly. And
Why is that? Like, I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched it unless it's been made into a GIF or it's been reposted and I just never saw who the creator was. Why do I know that name?
Well, it's just like anything else. Just word gets around. Even if you don't know anything about it, you still know the name. And he's just become so popular. He's on a game that's become so popular. So almost everyone knows Fortnite. Almost everyone knows Ninja. It's just a combination of two things that like just grown in popularity.
And this person kind of capitalizing off that Fortnite phenomenon.
Yeah, and just like you hear about normal superstars, even more, they just get around by word of mouth what they do.
Do you think that kind of takes the place of what generations previously have looked at as celebrities? Whereas, like, for your generation now and teens, they look at Ninja, for example, and they see this person as like a celebrity, a YouTube celebrity. Whereas, my generation maybe was the last generation almost to only see celebrity as athletes, people who are movie stars and things of that nature. Is YouTubers now a new form of celebrity moving forward?
Yeah, I guess they would be, because YouTubers could be celebrities, because changing Business Insider stats say that like 34% of people in 2017 watched YouTube, while only 27% watched Netflix and 14% do cable.
So it seems like people are just they're catering towards viewing content through streaming. And that streaming doesn't even have to be original content in the sense of like movies on Netflix or TV shows, but that they can just simply say, Ninja, for example, has got how many subscribers? Are we talking thousands, millions?
Couple million.
We're talking about a couple million. So do people look at that and they just go like, that's the kind of celebrity that I want, opposed to years ago we would see a movie star and that kind of celebrity, or an athlete, we'd say, that's the kind of celebrity that I want, or that's the kind of fame that I want. Is that what it's changing to you? Just like your generation look at someone like Ninja, for example, and there's tons of others, but do they look at someone like Ninja and think, that's what I want to be able to do?
It seems to be, actually. Like, me personally, I don't know many celebrities nowadays, but I know most of the YouTube personalities, all the people around, what sectors of YouTube they're broken up into.
So I'm going to sound like an old man here, and I'm okay with that because...
it's just
Evan, because Evan, you told me I looked like what earlier?
An egg with eyebrows.
Yeah, thanks. But
You're welcome.
And I have no problem, admitting that I am an egg with eyebrows. Yeah. If I were to ask you, name me 10 YouTube gaming celebrities, could you do it off the top of your head? I'm not asking you to do it, but could you?
Definitely. I
Easily?
can name 20.
Okay. Is that Kimberly? You agree with that?
I could name 10 easily.
Just trying to get an idea of how much reach, I guess, being a YouTube gaming celebrity has. Because when you've got, you said millions of followers that someone like Ninja has, right? I think that speaks to volumes for why teenagers want to consume content via YouTube or streaming stuff. I mean, Evan, that same place that you mentioned with Business Insider says that 55% of teens, as of a couple of years ago, claim that they could cut the cord and do without cable.
Yeah.
If I asked you right now, would you be able to live the rest of your life without watching cable TV? Would you be able to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon?
Definitely. YouTube just provides 1,000 times what any cable could provide.
Kimberly, you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree, because it's really just you get to choose what you want. And I find that appeal to be really nice, because when I used to watch TV, I was like, hey, can I watch this show? And it's not on.
Yeah.
So I can't watch it.
It's amazing. And, you know, speaking of choosing what you want, just the idea of you creating your own too, where you don't have to just be a passive audience. You can create your own content. I mean, just that idea 50 years ago probably sounds insane. I'm going to create my own content and I'm going to put it on a device, TV, which isn't a thing. Now you guys have that and you could do that on any device that you have in front of you. So walk us through what this creation kind of looks like for people that want to start or who have started and who can kind of recognize that there's a lot that goes into it. Brandon, go ahead.
I use YouTube a lot throughout the day, but I haven't really fiddled with it much. What I have been really into is live streaming.
Okay.
Not really on the YouTube platform. I use other platforms. The most popular being Twitch.
Do you want to give a shout out to your user handle so we can get you some more subscribers?
No spaces, capital B, Randon Best, and then 3 5s after that. I'm working on a name change, but for now, that's just what I've been going with.
So capital B, Brandon Best 555.
No spaces.
No spaces. Awesome. We'll hook you up. We'll try to get you some subscribers. So Brandon, walk me through then what this process kind of looks like. Can you do it in one shot? Can you just basically stream yourself playing a game and just millions of people just start watching?
Not that simply. Especially with live streaming, there's a long road to go. Even if you want to start if you want to start making money off of it, it's a long way to go. But simply starting up a stream could literally be started with a push of a button. You have to download the software that you need and just think, oh, do I have some free time? And then choose a game and you're there.
So I guess what goes into creating this? So for someone like me who's not going to go and watch someone stream a game, I'm trying to figure out, I guess, from the content creation standpoint, what do they create? What's their mindset when they are creating? Because I know you said the software, it seems like it's simple to make it happen, but how do you get those people to watch? That one of the things is always, focus on creating great content and then people will come and they'll follow. But how do they do that? Is there a process to this? Do they script out what they're going to do, or are they just kind of going through the game arbitrarily and just seeing what happens?
I'd say the latter. Mostly when I play, I just say, oh, I want to play something today, but I kind of want to talk with other people too. And I don't necessarily need to know these people, but they could talk with me. There's a level of interaction with live streaming that kind of draws people towards it.
That community.
Yeah. And you still get to watch people playing a game, seeing how they play, but it's more casual. Like with YouTube, it's a bit more scripted on how you want your format. But with live streaming, you just kind of experience the game and people could watch along with you.
If you have extra time, then you can maybe start a video. Me in general, if I have extra time, I'm done with all my homework, I could just play a game, start recording, because I never know what's gonna happen in the game.
Do you like that, or you're not a fan of not knowing?
I'm a fan of not knowing,
okay,
because then it's always a surprise for me too, as a player or a watcher.
Do you think that for you as a player, your spontaneous reactions kind of make the video more enjoyable?
Yeah.
Because you can't really script, a really great reaction compared to if you're actually going through and something crazy happens or something that you weren't expecting goes down, you could react accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I could be recording a video and one of my parents could be like, come on, it's dinner time. And I would have to stop the video and maybe come back or just have to record again.
Do you this might sound like a terrible question, but do you like that interruption? When you're videoing, because do you have something funny then that you say to your audience that your parents maybe don't hear that kind of makes it funny, or you're I got to re-record this?
Most of the time I say that I have to re-record it.
Okay.
But sometimes I can just go with it and just go with it.
Sure. Yeah. So when when this happens and you're putting in all this extra work and the time into it, you're doing a live stream, you're saying, or even
I just do. I record it ahead of time.
Okay.
I don't live stream.
When you do that, what are you talking about? Are you narrating what you're doing? Are you telling like a side narrative to something that's just kind of entertaining? Are you just kind of randomly just making small talk with your audience?
I narrate as I go, and then sometimes I would go ahead and see if I can do this stuff in the video.
Okay. So you'll say it before you do it?
Yeah.
So you're like, watch me do this, and then you fail at it.
Not technically that way, but like, oh, I'm gonna see if I can fit this in this video, or if not, I can do a second video.
Okay. So there's kind of that planning involved.
Yeah.
Do you think, because I was reading some information and I was reading an article and I can't credit it, unfortunately, but I remember reading this article that basically broke down the idea that there is so much work and time and effort that goes just into the creation process of this. Forget about making money off of it and marketing it and getting up to, millions and millions of subscribers like Brandon's account has by the time this episode airs.
Hopefully.
So, but I read this article that talked about the idea of how much work goes into it, and the idea that teens look at digital celebrities on YouTube or any other platform, and they see them as a celebrity, and they sometimes misunderstand. And I'm not saying that you guys do, but they sometimes misunderstand how much work truly goes into becoming this phenomenon where you have thousands or millions of subscribers that are going to view, and even more that are going to view your content. And I think part of it is because we all have devices in our hands. Like literally right now, we all have devices here, I'll hold my phone. We all have devices in our hands, and we all have cameras built in, and we all have access to the internet, and we believe that it's as easy as, oh, I saw this person recorded it. You know what? I could easily just record myself right now, and then boom, I can post it on all my social media platforms, and look at me, I'm a celebrity. And I think part of that becomes a misunderstanding that it is that easy. Do you see that as a part of YouTube gaming where people they want to do it and they're like, oh, I can do this. This is so easy. And then they fail and are disheartened because of it? Kimberly?
I think really it's hard to get out there.
Yeah.
Because you need something recognizable about you. Like whether it be like some moment that you completely, utterly failed on that gets popular. Or it could just be your personality. Because personality and like who you really are is also a big part of this. Because if people don't like who you are, then they're not going to watch you.
So a lot of this becomes, again, like you said, you become the celebrity in a way where people will subscribe, even if you're playing a game that you don't necessarily care about. But if you know that person's entertaining, will you watch?
I mean, it really depends on the person, because I know some people will only watch one type of game,
okay,
and that type of game only. But I know some people would watch because of the person and the content creator. And I'm personally, I'm a mix of it.
Okay.
Because sometimes I watch some games, they don't like entertain me, while I do like the person, so I just don't watch that type. But they oftentimes have other types of videos that I can watch, and I still get that same entertainment.
Brandon, go ahead.
I kind of watch, I agree full-heartedly about all of that. I feel like why would people want to watch you if you're just as boring as everyone else? You have to be something different that people want to watch, makes them think or makes them laugh.
Because like you said, there's thousands of people that are out. There's more than that.
Millions.
There's millions of people that are out there, and there's thousands of channels, or maybe even millions of channels. So why yours? Right? I think that becomes the question you have to kind of ask yourself as a creator of any kind of content, whether it's YouTube gaming or it's this podcast or, you're creating anything that you're doing that you're putting out there. It's always the question of, it's a very introspective question of, what do I have to offer that is unique or different, that sets me apart than anything else in this genre? And when you're competing with millions of people, yeah, Brandon, I think that's a huge part of it. Evan, you were kind of breaking down the 3 C's you said in order to kind of hit this stardom level.
So the 3 C's are clickability, clarity, and captivating. Those are from Matthias, the YouTuber from Dope or Nope.
This is amazing. So this is another really popular YouTuber that specializes in what?
I don't watch Dope or Nope, but the funny thing is my mom watches Dope or Nope. It's not about gaming. they do different. So like each episode is different, like stylized. Like they'll do an episode on safes, just to throw something out there, because I've never watched them.
Like safes?
Oh yeah, so
like
they do
like with locks?
Like with products, they do like different
product reviews.
Oh,
for each
okay.
video.
and then they'll say, is it good or is it bad?
Dope or nope. Okay, so talk to us about these 3 C's, Evan.
So for clickability, he said that it should be interesting, intriguing, indulgent, like have a mystery or a curiosity.
Well, talk to us about the mystery and curiosity.
So like maybe add something in your title, like make it like, oh, this is happening, or maybe put in like an exciting image in your thumbnail or something.
That's a huge part of it. I mean, the thumbnail alone is going to bring in so many people. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Yeah, that's essentially what clickbait is.
Yeah.
Because you're getting this like, wow, this happened, and you want people to click on it because it's so ridiculous and people want to know more. And that's generally how the human nature is because people want to know.
Even if they're going to be incredibly disappointed when they click on the clickbait.
Yes. And that's why clickbait has such a negative reputation.
Yeah.
And anyone with like red arrows, like, wow, look at this, is generally frowned upon nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of so many examples of, you talked about like the thumbnail and just clickbait in general. How many times I've seen like the most over-the-top clickbait kind of title where it's like 50 celebrities who you won't believe killed someone. And it'll have like a picture of like Mother Teresa. And you're like, what? And then you click on it and there's no mention of Mother Teresa at all in it. And you're like, oh, well, that was a disappointment.
Oh my God.
So it can't be, all right, that's an exaggeration. I'm sure there is one out there. And if not, we'll create our own. But it has to be true though. Like you have to fulfill that curiosity. Can't be like, want to see what happens when I
50 kill solo squad.
Yeah. You want to see what happens when I do that? And then really you don't do any of that.
You don't even get one kill.
Yeah, because you're going to lose then any potential followers. When people start making the link of like, oh, that, at Evan, you lied about this, and then it becomes clickbait. So it has to be accurate.
Yeah. So like you want to click it and the stuff actually happens. Like me, I did a video on like, there's this like terrible glitch in this game.
What's the game?
It's a jailbreak and Roblox.
Okay.
And so I didn't get into that glitch until like so far later in the video. So like it makes them want to watch more of the video until they finally get to the point where it gets there.
Right, you already got them to watch, so you can kind of get some things out in the middle. And it kind of is like what you're talking about with clarity, right? There has to be that payoff.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't get to that glitch, there's no payoff.
Yeah.
Was there a payoff? Did you get to the glitch?
Yeah, I did.
Was your reaction good? That was a recorded one?
Yeah, it was a recorded one.
Awesome. Did you get some good feedback on it?
No.
Oh. That's because you didn't mention it on the podcast.
Maybe now you will.
Now you will. Kimberly, go ahead.
I also think that if you drag the main purpose of the video all the way out to the end, I know that some people will skip to the end just to find it out. And that's also like face reveals. Oftentimes you just want to get to the face reveal. You don't go through all the stuff in the beginning, and sometimes that can harm you because people just want to get to the main point of the video that made them click on it. So I think you really have to be captivating in the beginning as well as when the actual title, like what you title the video as.
Totally agree. I actually just had a student, I told her today, hey, I threw you a major shout out on the last episode. Make sure you listen. And the first thing she asked, she's not a loyal listener, obviously. She said, is it in the beginning or is it towards the end? And I toyed with saying, you're going to have to listen to find out. But it was in the beginning. So I just told her it was in the beginning. But I totally agree. I think you cannot let that linger for so long because if people are going there, they want that payoff and they don't want to have to sit through stuff that does not interest them. And apparently for this student, this podcast did not interest her, which is heartbreaking. That's why you saw me crying in my room when you showed up. Remember?
No.
Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Brandon, go ahead.
You have to actually deliver on what you say.
Yeah.
Because when you deliver, there's a sort of level of trust built with your viewers. And that's also something you really want to build. Whether it be YouTubing, what we're talking about right now, or live streaming. You want to have the trust with your viewer. And, like, clickability is alright, but when it gets to the level of clickbait, stuff like that, you can lose trust. people might think that's not what they want to see.
How soon do you think that happens?
It depends on
Where the
how
trust could be broken.
fast you do it. Large YouTubers trust, like some of them, I know some of them that have gone into clickbaiting, but it also kind of works for them because they have audiences that don't really mind the clickbaiting.
And they're loyal.
Because they built the trust ahead of time.
Yeah, and then now they can just mess with them the whole time.
Exactly.
The last one you talked about was captivating.
Captivating. It's gotta have like a story, consistency, execution, and then it also goes back to the clickbaitability, the clarity as well, and the community.
What are some things that are not entertaining? Because I could think of a couple off the top of my head.
Top 10s.
Top
Certain-
10.
I love top 10s.
Well, there's a certain channel that in the it's known for.
Talking about Watch Mojo?
Yeah, Watch Mojo.
See,
That.
I like top 10s.
But the thing is, most is like Watch Mojo. Their opinions aren't very accurate.
No, they're not.
They're not very accurate, and they're very rushed. So I feel like when you kind of see that, oh, it's something that I'm interested in, but it doesn't really have the heart put into that you want from content.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I fall for the Watch Mojo top 10s so many times, and I would say half the time I kind of just get out of there halfway through because I'll find myself going, I wanted something deeper than this. I wanted something that could deliver more information about whatever it is they're saying, and it's just like very, very quick. They glance over it. For me, I know one is the person's voice, which is dangerous as someone who's podcasting right now as you're hearing my voice and you're thinking, yeah, that voice is annoying. There are certain voices that immediately I would just be like, nope, I can't sit through this. I can't do 10 minutes of this.
Yeah.
Kimberly?
I'm actually a very judgmental person, and one of the things that takes me off immediately is your voice. And if I cannot stand your voice, I'm sorry, but I will not talk to you.
Yeah.
So,
Or you won't listen to the content.
Yeah, I won't listen to it because I don't want to make my ears suffer.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Evan, go ahead. Things that will make you immediately feel like, nope, it's not entertaining.
I would also say the voice because, like, I could be watching these YouTubers, so their voice doesn't bother me. Like, I'd watch their videos, but then like maybe my mom would walk in and listen to the voice and he's like, please turn that off. It's killing my ears.
Does her judgment change your mind of the videos that you're watching? Like, does that make you self-conscious of it, or are you just like, well, that's your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have a funny story. Back when I'm pretty sure every kid who grew up on YouTube probably at one point watched Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
So back when I was like 7 maybe, I hated all the British YouTubers because I couldn't stand their voice.
The accents?
Yeah, the accents. But there's like 2 British YouTubers that I loved, but like every single other one, I was like, that's a bad voice. I don't like them.
So the accent sometimes will throw you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too sometimes. I think it depends on how strong the accent is, or it'll depend for me of like what the accent is. I mean, British accents are so many different types, and they all sound very, very different. So it really depends. All right. So the thing that people really want to know is, how do you make money off of this? Because there are people that are listening, I'm sure, because either they are faithful follower of the Monarch Experience, or they're faithful friends of Kimberly, Brandon, and Evan, or they love the content. Right? One of the 3 things that they might love that is getting them to listen to this episode right now. But there also might be people who are thinking, you know what? This is kind of actually helpful. I want to create my own YouTube channel. I want to be a YouTube gamer. How do I go about doing this? And then now if you're telling me I can make money off of it, well, now we're talking. So how do you make money off of this?
Well, it's very different in YouTube and live streaming. I know most of the statistics, like the specific numbers you need to reach, because depending on the service, but like Twitch and Mixer, which I use, you need to reach specific goals to become what they call partners.
Okay.
And that's when you could start putting advertisements before your live streams, or when someone clicks on it, it'll play an ad, and then you could hop onto the stream. And when they watch that ad, it makes you money.
What are some of these goals? Are they subscriber-based?
So they're
Reviews?
very much alike. You have to stream at least around 15 days out of a month consistently. You have to stream You have to have a
So they want content creation constantly.
They want constant, scheduled content creation that could be depended on.
That's one of the biggest things with putting out any type of content is people, not just advertisers, but also your subscribers, your fans. They want to be able to rely that if you say every 2 weeks or every day, they want to be able to rely on the fact that you're going to make good on that.
And it could become kind of like a job at the end of it.
Well, how much money are we talking about that you can make?
Well, it depends. So back then, YouTube used to be run by views, and every single view that you got, you made money. And people would average about a couple thousand a video, but not so much. Now it's kind of differently worked.
So basically in YouTube, you have to get monetized, and then you need to get a PayPal, so then
so
YouTube
can link
pay
them.
you. Yeah.
So how does that work though? Does YouTube run their monetizing based off of views still?
It's not based on I'm not sure. It could be, but I'm pretty sure it's based on the ads that play like in the middle of a video.
Okay, and that's where they're making their money off of, depending on obviously how big of an ad company you're getting to basically mid-roll through your video. That becomes a big part of it. Brandon, you mentioned with the 2 platforms that you're on.
Yeah, so they're worked slightly differently. They still have the ad part of it, but in addition to it, so you have to reach those goals to even make some money. Not that much, kind of maybe a cent for each view. Maybe a cent per click on the ad.
Okay. Oh, on the ad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there are multiple other ways that some streamers and YouTubers use. For streaming particularly, there's donations. On Twitch, people could, during your game, actively donate to you. Like, donate real money, and then you would get a response from that. Like, if you donate, hey, and you usually get a message. And then, like, streamers, that's, like, the biggest thing, is that if you donate, you kind of get a reward. You get shouted out.
Okay.
You kind of get your message answered. So it's kind of like a paying to get their attention. But you also donate them to kind of just help them out.
And to keep their content alive.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you say paying to get their attention, that sounds so sad in a way.
But it still has the essence of you're just donating your money to them.
But you're also keeping them afloat, and you're engaging in this, like you said earlier, this community, this family that's happening. Kimberly, go ahead.
And then there's an additional part of subscriptions, and this is mainly on Twitch, where you pay, I believe, $5 to subscribe to someone for around a month, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
A month. So, and they get that $5 reward, and you get instant notifications. I know some some streamers that are particularly big have their own Discord server.
Okay.
That people who are subscribed to can enter, and only them.
Do you get additional content then through that? Because I know that that's one way of kind of monetizing subscribers and giving them something a little more that they're paying for.
Yeah, I believe mostly subscriptions offer, a lot of YouTubers offer more content, and also some secondary sources such as Patreon. If you're a Patreon of someone, there's also more content on there. So it's more of just like you are rewarding their donation with more content. And
that's great because then you're paying and you're getting more and you're getting what you're paying for. So I think everybody becomes happy then. So I think, as we're kind of winding down on this, when a lot of teens are seeing this as a way to make money and also fame, I guess which one is it more? Do you think, not for you individually, but if we could generalize?
I'd say probably monetary
Okay.
aspect of it. It's very hard to become famous, but you could still make money, not a living, but it could be a passion while still getting money.
And I guess, is that something that parents then get on board with, or have you seen, maybe from your own experiences or just, in general kind of being a part of this community, do you see parents embracing this, or are they resistant to it and kind of pounding their fists on the table saying, get a real job?
I think it's really, parents are reluctant because it's not a stable thing. You're relying on luck. You're relying on the YouTube algorithm if you're on YouTube, and you're relying on yourself, honestly. And
you are betting on yourself, big time with it. And you have to be willing to do the legwork of marketing this in a way, of pushing this out constantly, responding to, I know you said in certain platforms, subscribers get that kind of, that love and that recognition. But, you know, I think in the beginning, especially, you have to be willing to interact with everybody so that they can see that there is a person, because that's who they're usually, it seems like in the beginning, that they are drawn to, whoever that person is that's doing the created content. Kimberly, go ahead.
I also think that after you get into the content creation and you start having to make a video, let's say every other day, I think that some people can fall into burnout because they're only doing what the audience wants and not what they want.
Yeah. Especially, do you see that when they hit kind of some kind of success with a certain type of video, that they feel they have to just keep on like replicating that?
Yeah, I know, because I watch like, say, animations, and oftentimes animation is really stressful and people really have to keep working at it, and most times people fall into burnout.
So it started out on YouTube. Gamers did more of skits, more detailed, scripted out videos where they would talk about their thoughts or ideas or their reviews. But then the whole meta has kind of shifted over into what's called gameplay or let's plays, where people could go in blind or not blind into a game.
What does that mean?
Like they know about the game beforehand or not. And those are two very different subsections. But they've gone into this whole different idea from more content-y side to more about gameplay, like episodic formats, which is kind of like live streaming, except it's more shorter, condensed, but higher quality than live streaming. But it's been a whole shift because there's burnout when you have to come up with the ideas on your own rather than just playing a game and having a personality. And
the creative process is so rewarding, but also I think there's a fine line between, you know, like the mastermind being incredibly happy, constantly grinding at the creative process, and that person who ends up suffering from burnout because they just constantly feel like they're putting out something new. They don't get a chance to, you know, let the creative aspect kind of sit for a little, because that is a lot of pressure, and I totally understand that. Evan, what are your thoughts?
Well, back to what you said about having the parents be like supportive. I think that even though I'd say the parents aren't supportive of it, but they should be. Like you said, they're pounding on the table saying, "Get a job." We're not old enough to get a job, but we do get paid by monetizing videos, so it would be kind of like getting a job.
It would be, and if anything, you know, this whole episode we're talking about this idea of being dependable, something you need when you have a job. Being reliable, something you need when you're looking for a job. And this is in that way, it's preparing you for those necessary life skills. It's just your output is different than what your first job maybe would be.
But also, like to say, I want to add on, with those minimum wage jobs, as opposed to doing content, it's something that you really have a passion for, that you love. I feel like if you're doing something that you love, it's going to be 10 times, 100 times more enjoyable than if you're just working at a minimum wage job, even if you make more.
And you'll work harder.
And you work harder. Here, even if you work harder making YouTube content, it feels like you're doing something that you enjoy.
It's unbelievably gratifying. All right. Fantastic episode. Thank you so much for listening. And a major thank you has to go out to Evan, Brandon, and Kimberly for being a part of this episode on YouTube gaming and content creation. I really think is what we came down to this. You know, you guys, you know what one of my favorite things in the world is? Shameless plugs. Brandon, you got a shameless plug for us?
Very shameless right now. I downloaded a new game. It's called Dicey Dungeons. I'm loving it to death right now. And I'm going to start a whole series on it. My Twitch channel, plug it again, Brandon Best, 3 5s, no spaces, first B is capitalized. I'm going to start it. It'll probably, when you are hearing this, it'll probably already be maybe 3rd episode, but you can always catch on my earlier episodes. It'll be archived. And I hope to see you then. Fantastic shameless plug. Kimberly, we got a shameless plug for you?
I have a shameless plug. I personally do not game, but I do art streams at twitch.tv/CookieCaffine. CookieCaffine. I misspelled it. I know. I made this username in 3rd grade.
And then Evan, shameless plug?
I was going to say the link, but it's a little long. So capital S, capital W, Soundwave328, and YouTube. subscribe for some more cringy content. Thank
Cringy
you
content.
very much.
I love it. And speaking of shameless plugs, they have said about me, the man Kona, your faithful host, that I am the king of shameless plugs. So here we go. Let's get this out of the way. Where you're going to be able to find episodes, our hosting platform at anchor.fm. You're going to be able to find any episode, past and present. Go back, check it out if you haven't listened to episodes like Stress, Standardized, Popularity and Clicks, Homework, and Students Coming from Other Countries. Subscribe on iTunes so that you don't miss a single episode and get it right to your device of your choosing immediately. Leave a 5-star rating and leave a comment so students will continue to have a platform to voice their opinions. We're doing this for free, so any feedback and all feedback helps this platform grow and helps students have more impact, more power than they ever thought they did. And make sure that you follow us on Twitter at The Monarch Experience. Retweet your favorite episode. We'll hook you up with a $10 gift card to the Jocelyn School Store. It's not really a school store. People are coming over to me saying like, hey Kona, where's the school store? Where is it located? It's not physically located anywhere. It's in your mind. And then one final question for all you out there experiencing this. Do you want the Monarch Experience to have a Snapchat account? Let us know. We'll try to get some cool content on there. We'll try to get some cool, very specific things that we can put out on there. But we want to make sure that there is an audience that is looking for it. If you do, let me know. You know where to find me. I'm in 152. And if you want to be on a future episode, all you got to do is just ask. There are no limits. There are no holds barred. Thanks for listening. Until next time. See ya.
I'm dancing on your body.